The party
Guy
was lame to me.
Fieri.
Fieri.
This is the fun.
Yeah.
So they're trying to track him down. Mora's at the party.
I just want to say, you are never allowed to pick the freaking theme for anything again. Okay. Albuquerque, fire truck. We're just yelling out words now? What's going on here? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast, and we do upload the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out there. My name is Matt, and as always, I'm being joined by my co-host and sister, Vetta.
Hi, how's everyone tonight?
I'm good. And on this episode, we are bringing back our brother, Marlin. Marlin, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing really good.
Nice. And on this episode, we are going to be reviewing the movie Upworld, AKA A Gnome Named Gnorm. Now, I just want to ask you guys, before we had talked about this, did you guys know this movie as A Gnome Named Gnorm or Upworld?
I was about to go, I'm at the wrong movie review. They put me for the wrong, they told me the wrong movie. They told me the wrong movie when you said Upworld. I was like, I didn't watch this. We can't do this.
Well, it's famous. Well, I was reading up online and they changed it because people couldn't like find it / figure it out when they named it A Gnome Named Gnorm. So they changed it to Upworld and everything. So I'm all like, okay, well, whatever. All right. Before we get started on this, I'm going to ask the most important question tonight, and that is, what are you drinking? And Marlon, since you're our guest, we'll start with you.
Coke Zero.
Nice. And it has 0 alcohol, which is not what we like on this show, but it's fine. Vetta, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a rum and coke. I was gonna find a lovely gnome-themed beverage, but I'm not gonna lie. I might have had one too many cocktails at grad parties today and forgot we were recording until you sent me the link, and I went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, you had to rush home and everything.
I know
Party's
I was already
over,
home, but I had to rush and get
going.
everything set up. But luckily, Marlin was late, so it had plenty of time.
Okay. Well,
Thank you, Hannah.
yeah. Well, I am having my famous White Claws because I also did not feel like making a drink, so I'm just having some White Claws. You know how I like those these days. Had you guys heard / seen this movie before we were going to introduce review it?
Yeah.
Marlin?
Oh yeah, we used to watch this as a kid, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen it before. Yeah, I knew Marlon's answer. Vetta, had you seen this movie before?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to say I'd only seen it like once or twice, but I had seen it and I had forgotten about it. And then about probably 15 minutes into it, I was like, "Oh yeah, woo! I remember."
Right on. Okay.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you guys a story, Matt? You might remember this. But do you remember in Hazleton Red's like convenience store?
Yeah, I remember that store. Love that store.
Yeah. I think that's the first place we rented this movie from.
Oh, okay.
I always remembered seeing it there.
All right. Well, let's get into this movie. A Gnome Named Gnorm. Okay, so A Gnome Named Gnorm, a disgraced Los Angeles police detective who teams up with a brave underground gnome to recover a stolen magical crystal and clear his name. Dun dun dun. Okay, let me pull this movie up and everything. All right, so we start off like I loved this opening with his little crystal. I don't remember what this crystal is called, you guys. I'm sorry. But it's his shiny
gibberish.
Yeah, it's his precious. Yeah. And I'm gonna, instead of like from now on, whenever we have things with a G in front of it or like a letter in front, that I'm gonna pronounce, like if there's a knife in here, I'm gonna say knife. Okay, so we're just gonna go with this. Okay, so he's traveling up to the upworld because he lives in the underworld. I was like, Okay, so all right, so the movie starts off
The
in
name
this.
change sucks. Can I just tell you
Yeah,
that?
a Gnome Named Gnorm is way better.
Was
It's way
way
more
better.
fun. Way more fun. Okay, so we start off in the Los Angeles Police Department, right? And everybody's looking for our main guy, right? Which is played by Anthony Michael Hall, and his name is Casey Gallagher. And they're all looking for him because they are working on a bust, you guys. But they can't find Gallagher. Where Gallagher is, nobody knows because they can't find him. And so this is Samantha, Sam, and she's looking for him. And there's the other detective. I don't remember his name. And these guys are all talking shit about Casey, okay? And they're placing a bet that Casey's gonna fuck this shit up and everything. And so, and of course, it's her partner, so she takes the bet, right? He's like, I'll give you 4-1 odds, and she's like, she pulls out a 20, and she's like, yeah, fuck you, and everything.
Yeah, 20.
So then we go into
They are
Sam.
excellent partners and believe in each other.
Back when $20 was something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. So then we go into Walton, the chief's office, right? And he's like, where's Casey? Where's Gallagher? And Gallagher just show up and everything. And I didn't like this part because he's like, hey, Detective What's Your Face and everything. And I'm all like, can you just like not be weird, dude, right now? But it was fine. It's fine. And so they get get their guns and everything, and they get ready for this sting operation, right? And of course the chief's all like, don't fuck this up, Gallagher. And I'm all like, and as soon as he said that, I was like, he's gonna fuck it up.
The character that plays the chief, does he ever not play an attorney or a cop?
What was he was a doctor in
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, Dirty Dancing.
That's
he was
right.
a doctor.
Yeah, you're right. All I think of is Law and Order.
Yeah,
listen,
I mean, he's great.
It doesn't matter what he's playing; he's the same character.
Yeah, the whole
time I'm like, dude.
Yeah, the whole time I'm like, say the line, say it, but he never said it, and you know what line I'm talking about. Okay, so yeah. All right. So then we get this guy. He goes into this strip club, and he goes in the back, and they get the diamonds and everything, because that's what they're doing. They're getting diamonds and everything. And so they get this sting operation, and he's like, meet us at the spot and everything. And I'm paraphrasing everything because yeah. So they meet on this playground, which I'm all like, this is where you guys meet to do this transfer of the money and the
transfer area ever.
Right.
Worst transfer area. I'm like, and everything. And I love how he's like, I'm singing in the rain or whatever he was singing. I can't remember what he's saying. And Gnorm, he shows up, right? He just tunnels out like a fucking,
like a homeless person in LA, just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. Right.
Oh no, they're everywhere. They're not coming out of nowhere. They're everywhere.
Right. They are now.
So he gets on the merry-go-round, which I just want to say right now, they don't have these on too many playgrounds anymore. They've taken them out because they like to say they're spinning wheels of death, but I like to say they're a good time.
They want to kill the joy in life.
Yeah, exactly.
These brought me so much fun because even when you went flying off of them and scraped and cut your legs or arm or whatever,
or hit a tree,
you were having the best time of your life and were wanting to do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that didn't have a good time on a merry-go-round.
Exactly. They're just
but then the Karens of the world that are all taking the fun out of everything.
So he gets knocked out by a mysterious person, right? And so while he's doing that, the guy that's going to do the transfer, he shows up, right? That's got the diamonds and everything. And the guy passes him, right? And he takes the diamonds, and he's all like, he gives him the briefcase, okay? And he's like, hey, aren't you gonna let me check this shit out and everything? And he pops up with the briefcase, and boom, it's a bomb, and he blows up. And I'm all like, oh, that sucks to be you, dude. And so, the gnome sees everything, right? So then afterwards, they're all like, Casey, what the fuck happened, dude? And the chief shows up, and he's all like, Gallagher, I knew you'd fuck this up. You fucked it up, dude. You're in big shit now and everything. He's like, you gotta believe me. Somebody knocked me out. And they're all like, internal investigations will be in because they think he stole the money or whatnot. So, which I go, this detective set up this whole sting so he could steal this money and diamonds and then blow a dude up. So also you guys could catch him. Like, what? Come on, guys.
Right. You're like,
It's the
somebody's
worst
not
plot
thinking this
ever.
through. Right.
Yeah. So they leave him there in the park, which I'm all like, I don't think that's
And
how things
he
done.
stole this money and they just leave him there. Like, wouldn't you arrest him or investigate a little
Or take
further
him
in the
into
moment?
custody to ask
Or to the
questions and
hospital. He
interrogate.
had an
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, Vetta. Yeah, he had an injury. You don't just get knocked out and just like, oh, it's fine, you know.
Apparently, in
no.
the Upworld,
Even
you
his partner, like, he could be like, oh, they all raped me or graped me and and they're like, oh, is your butthole bleeding? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, we got to go home. I got dinner waiting.
So now while he's doing this, so Gnorm, he saw the whole thing from up a tree, right? But he left his little shiny up in the tree, right? And Casey sees it. He sees it shining or whatnot. And he climbs up the tree and gets his little pouch, his precious. And he's like, hey, what that? He's like, this has got to be this is the stuff and everything. But I love when he was walking to his car and every time he turned around, Gnorm, like, he's just like, huh, and everything. Cause he's like right behind him and everything. And I love, it's so good, right? Everything about.
Am I the only one that thinks he walks weird?
Yeah, he walks weird. Yeah. But I feel like they did that on purpose. Cause they're all like, oh, we got to make him walk. We got to walk weird. So that way the puppet or the kid, I don't know what was in this, can walk with you or whatnot. So he gets in his car, right?
Question.
That same bitch that played Rat Boy.
I wanted to talk to you about this when Gnorm shows up like full blown. I want to talk about that just real quickly. But okay, so Casey goes home, right? Pulls into his driveway. He goes upstairs and everything, but he hears something, and he gets attacked by Gnorm. And he tries to shoot him or whatnot, but Gnorm is all, ready to go or whatnot. So then this guy, right, he breaks into Casey's house and everything. Okay, so there's Gnorm, right? And he's like, oh, and everything. And he's all like, hey, little guy, and everything. He's like, it's a rat or whatever. I don't remember. It's a rat boy. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about this. Okay, so real quick. Gnorm, the whole time watching this, because we had just reviewed Rat Boy, our last episode with you, Marlin. And the whole time I was just like, I really want a Rat Boy Gnorm crossover. Like, I really want to crossover.
Yeah.
Like, what would happen if Gnorm and Rat
But the
Boy...
whole time, don't you think Rat Boy's going to be jealous? Because Gnorm's makeup and costume is just 100% better than Rat Boy's prosthetics.
I'm just all like, would Rat Boy be like, Nikki? And then Gnorm would be like, my
nice bazoombas.
nice popos. These nice popos.
Dude, listen to this. Okay, it's crossover, but it's Thunderdome style where they want Rat Boy's career to take off again, like in the first film. Uh-huh. So they've set up. So they've kidnapped Gnome, and they won't let him charge his stone until after the fight because it's at night.
This is a great idea.
After the fight, you get to charge your stone. If you win, and if you lose, then Rat Boy gets your stone. And
Rat Boy's already got his own stone. Remember?
Yeah, but he loses it. He loses. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Gnome. This is actually your stone, the one that Gnome has. So you have to fight him and kill him for your stone.
I'm not gonna lie.
They fight. They fight it out, and I want Gnome to win. Oh, like Gnome pulls out those little weird looking rock gloves and just like digs into his face hard. Winner. Right. I can't wait for this movie.
Right on. So Casey, right? He calls Sam, right? And he's like, Sam, I got some. And she's like, what do you need? And he's like, I got something. It's small and it's wrinkly and it's in my apartment. You need to come see it. And she's like, all right, put your dick away. Okay. I don't want to see that shit and everything. Yeah. And I'm all like, I just want to be like, yeah, I just want to be all like, Sam, don't you think if he was talking about his dick, like in a serious notion, don't you just say, he's like, hey, I got something to show you. It's my dick and everything. Not, I got something. And nobody refers to her dick like in a sexy way as small. They go, I got something hard for you, baby, and everything. And I'm all like, Sam, you haven't had too many guys try to be sexual with you, I guess.
Sam, I got this baby elephant for you.
Yeah.
You don't know whether you're going to feed it or suck it.
so, 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 all right.
Oh, that's a great thing to pause it on. Speaking of sucking it, what's happening to Gnome right now?
Well, he's okay. So Gnorm, he has these powers, right? Which I was all like, I don't know where these powers came up. They just made this up for this movie, but he can make you fall asleep. So he's all like, "Rah," and everything. And while he's doing that, Casey is yawning. And Casey's all like, oh, I'm getting so tired. And he's like, and everything. Well, Casey falls asleep. So Gnorm, he gets out.
Right there.
He gets out of the cage, right? And he's all like, and he tries to snag the stone or whatnot. And so what happens is he's all like, hey, he's like, I got your stone and everything, buddy. So you're not getting out of here and everything. Cause he runs into the glass, right? When he tries to escape. And that's like a running gag throughout the entire movie. So he's like, Sam, he's like, tomorrow, he's like, I need you to come over. And she's like, I'll meet you tomorrow, fucker. And he's like, all right, meet me in the park where it all went down because I got a witness. I got somebody that can witness.
He's like, I'm gonna show you I'm not a fuck up.
Yeah. So he's like, and I love how he puts him in like a trash bag and he's like, come on,
a homeless lady, like just like out of a cracked stupor, like, hey man.
So he's all like, so he tells him, he's like, I saw it. It was a giant person who's blind, who is screaming. Okay. And it's all plays in later, right?
Am I the only person that in this whole time goes, he says he's got a witness, but he's bringing a small little, demented looking gnome to this woman, just gonna be like, here's this little thing, creature.
Listen, the biggest problem with this whole movie from the moment he captures this thing is they aren't freaking out enough over this creature.
Right. That's what I mean.
I don't care.
Not concerned, nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't like guns, but I would have a hatchet or something with me all the time if I caught this thing. And he puts in that dog cage. I would be duct taping that thing. I'd be like doing everything I could to make sure that thing never got out of that cage. Because look at it. If you ran into this, they don't freak out enough. Even when the chick do.
That's what I'm saying. There's something
I'd be
really
power
wrong.
kicking. I'd be Spartan kicking this thing so hard every time.
I feel like the minute he saw this guy, he should have just punted him like a football and ran away screaming.
Or tried to get him a Hollywood career. So,
and the moment I fell asleep with this thing, and it just magically woke up and stole that little gem from me. I'd go, "This thing's too smart. I have to think ahead."
But I go, out of all the superpowers you could have, making people sleep, is that really one you would ever want?
I think he does it to, I mean, no, but I think he does it so that way he can escape, like their kind can escape, and then you like, did I imagine that? Was it?
Well,
just
then he's using it wrong.
He is, yeah. Okay, real quick, we have to say he later on explains he brought the stone to the Upworld to charge it with because that's like their sun down under the ground or whatever in the underworld. Okay, so they're
we call it downworld, like
yes,
downworld.
So this dog like kind of comes after him, so he tries to escape or whatnot in the bushes.
Because the dog knows he's creepy as fuck and needs to be taken care of. No one else has the same urgency as this dog.
Right. So Sam shows up, right? And he's like, come here. The witness is in the bushes. And he's like, just go look. And so she's like, I don't see anything. And he's like, he's right behind you. And he is. You can kind of see him and everything. And then so she's doing the thing where she turns around. And he is being very SA right now. Like he's all like,
dude, he's my hero. Straight up.
In that picture, I'm not even joking. I'm going to send you a picture of my dog so you can do a side by side. That looks like a dog paw. That looks like my weird ass dog. This guy is creeping me out.
Your dog has a human like nose?
He has a huge fucking weird snout.
So, okay. So then he's like, stop moving. And Sam leaves and everything. And he's like, your cha-cha, whatever he calls it. She's like, she's got good popos. And he's all like, nice roundy and everything. And he's like, shut up.
Roundy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like,
quick side note.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do your kids call boobs, tatas, whatever you want to call them? Do they have a special name for them? Because my kids did growing up.
we don't use like words like that. Like we just say they say either boobs or breasts. They just say.
Well, we didn't tell my kids just call them this. They
What do
just
they
did.
call? What do they call them?
When they were little, they called them coconuts.
Coconuts.
She has
Nice.
big coconuts, Dad.
nice.
My kids just call them nipples. They just say, "I have 2 nipples."
Right. So then they're all like, so they're driving. He's like, hey, Gnorm, you made me look like a fucking asshole in front of Sam over there. And and so while they're driving, right, he's like, blind man, blind guy, or whatever. And he's like blind and everything. So then he figures out that the giant part was that all humans are giants. Okay. And that blind, because he's like, it's no eyes. He says no eyes. He's like, no eyes. So he's like, no eyes, no eyes. And he's taking off the sunglasses. So he figures out that no eyes means, so no eyes means he's got sunglasses. He's like, all right, so is a guy with sunglasses. And I'm all like, oh, look at you guys doing detective work.
Well, that's what he does when he says eyes, no eyes. He goes, ah.
They are Columbo, these two, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So then they go to this place, right, to get the clues or whatnot, or goes back to his apartment, and this guy's waiting for him, right? And
I love this guy. I want to be his friend.
Yeah. So he's like, you give us the stuff. We want our diamonds back. And
I want our diamonds.
And everything. So he's all like, all right, I'm gonna cut you up, and I'm gonna cut your little rat kid that you have. And he's like, so he takes the shiny. I don't remember what this thing is. Oh, the illuminator. I don't fucking remember what it's called. So he takes this, right, and he runs off with it, right. Well, Gnorm, he is not having. He's like, we have to get the roundy or the shiny or whatnot. And he's like, you. What'd you say?
We have to get the precious.
Yeah, the precious and everything. The lumen. It's called the lumen. The lumen.
Yeah, the lumen.
And so he's like. So he explains that he came to the Upworld because only warriors bring the lumen to the surface world, and they charge it by holding it up to the sun for 5 minutes, and it makes it brighter, and then he takes it back to their world where that is their sun and gives them light and everything. I'm like, you guys should create electricity, because you could just flip a switch and have light forever.
And they should find better warriors than this guy.
He's not a warrior, he's a tunneler.
Not a warrior. Yeah. He's a tunneler.
Well,
and he's doing this. Yeah, he's doing this to impress his female. I don't remember what his female's name was. We'll call her, Norma. Gnorma. Okay, yeah, bitch. Gnorma. So
trying to impress my bitch. With the roundy.
With their nice roundy. Good.
That's what the sequel's going to say. Our Rat Boy merger. That he's going to be, that bitch didn't want me when I brought back the lumen.
Can I just say
this is going to go, Nikki.
Nikki. Can I just say right now, when they dress him up like he's in White Men Can't Jump, this was my favorite.
Oh my God. That's so exactly what I thought too. I was like, this is White Men Can't Jump sequel.
Yeah, this made me so happy. Like, I was just all like, I forgot about this, and I was just like, I could not be more happier with this movie. Like, this is my new Halloween costume. I need to find this makeup and everything. Okay, so they
real quick, can I just say, when I was watching this, I was like, I want Lady Gaga to wear like a face mask of this one day, like this mask on her face, like show up with like.
That would be great. Okay, if anybody could pull it off, she could. Okay, so then they're all they go in there, and they're looking for Gallagher or whatnot, and they're always looking for Gallagher and everything. And she's like, hey, boss man, he is tracking down a witness. He says he has a witness to the whole thing. And the chief, he's all like, all right, well, you find Gallagher and you bring him in here, because I got questions for him. And if he's got this witness, you bring the witness to.
You bring the witness to me.
Bring him to me. And there's a reason for that, which we'll get into in just a second. So then they're still trying to track down this thing. And he's like, listen, you help me find the guy that did all this, and I will we'll shine up the lumen. You'll take it back to Gnorma, and you'll impress her, and she'll, fall in love with you. You can put your face in between her popos and everything. And he's like, you shake on it and everything. And then he spits in his hand and goes to shake. And I'm all like, that's fucking gross. Gnomes
That is so
are
gross.
fucking
I hate-
nasty.
No, but
I wouldn't have
kids
done it.
used to do that. Like you don't remember?
Spit
I
is-
would never do it because that was disgusting. But I've seen kids do that.
Yeah, well, I would never do that because that's fucking. And he's like, you want a loogie? You want a loogie?
The
I'm like,
argument
no.
is that I would never do it, but I saw kids do it. Yeah, I saw a guy snort cocaine one time. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
Yeah, like I know he's like, so then he hocks a loogie in it, and I just want to say, Gnorm's spit was fucking gross. It was like a stream of saliva. I was like, ew.
It looked like Gnome was doing some extracurricular sucking earlier.
Right.
Okay.
It's his side hustle. Come on now.
That was it. Hold on, when you said that, and then I was like, yeah. Okay, so then, all right, so then they finally like he makes him fall asleep, and then he's like give me the lumen or whatever and everything. And he's like all right, we're gonna track this guy down, but we gotta go. So they track down this guy, and this guy's name is Reggie, right? Because Reggie will be able to get him to where they need to go, right? So I just want to say, as soon as Reggie showed up, right? Hold on, let me pull him up here.
Real quick,
Okay, so
is Reggie a real human, or is this thing like is he wearing like a lot of prosthetics?
That's what I okay. So hold on. He obviously had some work done, Reggie. And so hold on. Let me just
I thought it, dude.
Okay. When Reggie showed this is how he looks. And I was like, God damn, what happened to your face and everything?
Oh my
I was like,
God.
I was like, you
looks like he got stung by bees and had an allergic reaction before this filming.
Exactly. So he tries to get this guy because they need to find their contact or whatever. And this guy beats him up or whatever and pins him up against the wall. And then Gnorm shows up and he's like, hey. And Gnorm has got a bonnet on. And I'm all like, nice bonnet, Gnorm.
I thought it was a French maid's costume.
Whatever it is, it's fucking terrible. But I was like, and then Reggie, he's like, hey, you bring your kid to a stakeout, and he's like coochie coochie coo and everything, and I'm like, what are we doing?
Not enough people freak out about this gnome.
Right.
The whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, why are people screaming?
Yeah.
If I saw this thing, I might pull out my piece or my knife and just start stabbing it because I don't know what it is.
Right. So then Gnorm, right? So Reggie calls his boss and he's like, hey man, there's a dude asking questions. And then this Gnorm jumps on his back and is just smelling his hair like a big fucking weirdo. And he's like, hey, coochie coo little kiddo and everything. And Gnorm is all like, he's like, sorry, I gotta kill your pops and everything. And he's like, hey, and so he's all like, you gotta help me out or you won't get the lumen back. So Gnorm's all like, oh, I gotta fucking kill this guy. So he attacks, right? Oh, and while the whole time he was paying attention to what numbers Reggie was doing so he could call. And so he calls a theater because they defeat Reggie. They kill him and everything. And so he's like, let's go to that theater and everything. So
the one where he reaches up and grabs his nuts. Is that the fight where he grabs his nuts?
He punches him in the nuts and everything. So they go to this strip club, right? And of course he's like tatas and everything. And I love how he's just wearing like this now it's
like a Pennington Bear costume.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He's like Pennington Bear now.
Yeah, we're all in the same. Like they went to the costume room in Hollywood and was like, just grab whatever you can from another movie and let's just do this.
Whatever will fit him, just grab it.
Yeah. And so
look, it's not a real person, guys. It's a puppet. Let's not talk about it like
there's like 10
like this guy showed up looking like that, and they said whatever fits him. Plus, nobody in the strip club is screaming. No one's still screaming. There's
at least in Rat Boy, the prostitutes were very concerned about Rat Boy.
Yeah, they were like, fix your face, Rat Boy, and he's like,
right. Nobody cares about.
All I have to say is like, is that Zuzu right there? Because I feel like she step up, Zuzu. Good job,
bro.
Okay. Anybody that's
As
listening,
we go through
watch
this, I'm writing this sequel in my head. It's getting better and better.
So, all right. So this guy, right? And I don't remember his name, but Xander is looking at the lumens,
Xander.
right? And he's yeah, so he's looking at the lumen, right? And he's trying to figure out how much this thing is worth and everything. And I'm like, it's a one of a kind. He's like, give me the fucking lumen and everything. So Xander, right?
Xander.
So I love this stripper. He comes out on stage and the stripper just starts dancing with him. Like, Marlin, you're right. She does not freak out. She's all like, hey man, let's party. And you're like, why aren't you Zuzu? Why aren't you freaking out? And Xander cuts their tires, right? And he takes off, right? Because he's like, I'm not giving you this fucking thing. So they steal a car, right? They're like, police business, right? And he's like, you can't have my car. And he pulls this guy out of his car. And I'm all like, I don't think that's how it works. But okay.
They do it in every movie. Many movies, people just up. But isn't it a hearse?
It's a hearse.
Not even a car.
Yeah. So they're trying to follow him and everything. And there's a whole line of people by.
They stole it from a funeral procession.
Right? And so they're all trying to follow and they end up getting a car accident. But he ends up, crashing the car because he gets fired on by a weapon. And they crash the hearse and everything. And that while they're doing that, I love this part where this guy's trying to save the dead body. He's like, I think I can save him. And I'm all like, there's no heartbeat and everything. So then the detectives show Sam and this other detective guy, what's his name? Cameron or whatever. They show up and they're like, don't move, fucker. We got you, Gallagher. And I love how Gallagher tried to climb a fence or whatever. And Norm sees this guy run into a hotel or apartment complex and he runs into the glass again.
Do they not have glass in the underworld?
They don't have glass, which I'm all like, okay, whatever. Okay. So they're like, Gallagher, what's going on, dude? And he's all like, listen, I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. She's like, what's happening to you, dude? You used to be so good at this job and now you suck at it, dude. And I'm all like,
yeah.
I'm like,
she said that, but at the beginning he was known as the screw up. So when was he good at this job?
Yeah. So then he's all like, he's like, Gallagher, he's like, you need to get, he's like, give me your gun and your badge. Okay. You're done. You're donezo, motherfucker. And he's like, I'm putting Gallagher in a corner. And so then, okay. So he's like, what are you doing? He's like, the lumen and everything. So they figure out he's in this apartment complex in the penthouse, right? And so they go up to the penthouse and they open up the door and everything and they go into this apartment and they're like, don't fucking move, Xander. And he's all like, he's like, okay, and everything. So they let Xander back up. He holds the loom and he's like, scream for me. And he's like, hey, and everything. He's like loud. He's like, hey, and everything. And he's like, don't. Or he's like, if you don't scream, my buddy here is gonna chew your face off and everything. And I'm all like, okay. So which I would be nervous about that too. So he's like, I'm gonna. It's he holds the lumen over the balcony, right, you guys? And he's like, shoot me, and your lumen will go over the balcony. And so then Norm, he freaks the fuck out. He just jumps on him like a rabid dog. But of course, he doesn't have the strength, which I just want to be all like, you're a tunneler. Aren't you kind of strong, like digging all tunnels and shit all day and everything? He is not, because then Xander gets a hold of him and dangles him off the roof. And he's like, don't do it and everything. But then he gets shot in everything and he falls off in the most spectacular way. I love how this is such a dummy because the legs like bend backwards in the wrong way. And I'm all like, you guys, can you guys not get a dummy? Yeah.
What is it, like Mr.
Like,
Fantastic falling from the...
Yeah.
Real quick, I just want to say, if you can see from the balcony that shot, he made that shot. That's a unrealistically good shot for that handgun. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing because
that's
I'm all
what
like,
I was questioning of everything in that scene was, could he really make that shot?
yeah. And so while they're doing this,
look, nobody's freaking out about a gnome. You have to suspend reality a little bit, okay?
That is true. He is a spectacular shot.
For sure. Well, he's been on the force for many, many years. So we pull back and we get to see that it's hold on, I couldn't get it. We get to see that the killer is the chief. Dun dun dun. And you're all
Like,
ah.
like you didn't know that from the beginning.
I mean, when I very first watched this, I didn't know, but then again, I was like 10 or some shit
Yeah,
like that.
you
So the chief, so he took Gallagher's gun and so he takes this gun and he puts it, away or whatnot. And he's like, hey man, listen, don't worry, we're gonna figure this all out. But then they're like, get Gallagher and bring him into the thing or whatnot. So Gnorm, he tries to get out, right? So, but he can't work the elevator. And of course, he runs into the glass again and everything, and they catch him. And so then Sam is all like, listen, I know Gallagher didn't do this, chief. And he's like, oh yeah, well here, you test his gun, right? And he instead of giving him Gallagher's gun, he gives him the gun that he killed the dude with, right? And so they put him in the paddy wagon with Norm, and they send him off to jail, right? And so they're in the thing or whatnot, and they're headed off to the station.
Once again, I want to reiterate that they just threw him in there. Nobody called any other professionals to look at this freak of nature.
Oh, don't worry, Marlin, because they try to do some tests on him. Because so they empty his pockets, and he's just got bat wings and fucking bones and shit. And I'm like, what are these gnomes doing down there in the underworld? Like, what's going on?
Well, apparently they're into witchcraft too, or something.
Apparently.
They invent the sun underground, but then they got to use bat wings for trinkets.
So I love how they try to take a picture of him, and he just moves out of the blink of the camera as soon as they go to take a picture and everything. And they're like, we'll get it later. And then they try to take his fingerprints, but they can't because he's too strong for him and shit. And they try to I love this guy because he tries to take a blood sample or whatever, and he can't pierce the skin because the skin is so strong. He's like, well, that happens sometimes. I'm like, when does that happen? He's Superman. What?
Have you heard someone ever go, well, they tried to draw my blood, but they just couldn't puncture the skin.
The needle kept bending. Like, what?
Because my skin is so strong. People would be bragging if their skin was that strong.
So I love how, and then they try to, this part was my favorite out of this whole sequence is when he's like, say, ah, and he's like, ah, and everything. So good. And then I love how the cops all strip him. And I'm like, don't be fucking weird, dude. What are we doing right now? So they take off all his clothes and everything. And he must have a big dick, because they're all like, oh my God. And then Sam comes in and everything. She's like, hey. And I was like, hey, Norm, nice bunny cheeks and everything, bunny cakes and everything. Yeah. But she's
look
like,
at his triceps. They're so
his triceps are so huge. I'm a little jealous right now. But that's obviously not all that's huge on Gnorm. I'll tell you right now, because everybody's all.
Look at his forearms though too. His forearm looks like he works at one of those ice cream places, the Cold Stone, where they.
Yeah. They have to. So then he's talking to Gallagher. He's like, listen, Gallagher. He's like, I don't know what to do, dude. I don't know if I can help you, man, because I want to believe you, man, but everything points to you're the bad guy here. And he's like, come on, chief, and everything. So he's like, hey, chief. Yeah. He's like,
ready to play.
He's like, what do you? He's like, take Gallagher to the holding cell. And he's like, oh, you made my day, chief. Thank you so much and everything. I'm like, all right, calm down. Don't cream in your pants too quickly, okay? He's like, come on, guy. He's like, listen, man. He's like,
is that something police officers really do? Go, man, I hope someday I can, arrest Smithers, or whatever.
Yeah, go arrest my coworker. You need to calm the fuck down, okay? Like I get it if you don't like this guy. I don't like a lot of my coworkers, but I'm not all happy when when they get in trouble. So then he goes, so he's like, listen, man, I'm being set up. He's like, help me out. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's the chief. Or he's like, okay. And then he's like, so he punches him, right? Because he's like, come on, you're going to thing. And I love how he's tries to run through the station and they end up catching him. I'm like, what did you think would happen, Casey, when you punched another detective and then you tried to run inside the police station? You get away. So Norm is up in this office, right? And he's all like, oh, because earlier, what the chief fixed his little earpiece, and he's all like, it was like, ee, and that was the scream, and he tells Casey, he's like, scream and everything. Scream. So he's like, so the chief has Gnorm in here. He's like, hey, you little fucker. He's like, I want to know what you know and everything. And of course, Gnorm is not. So then here we get Samantha, and she goes in there and she's like, Chief, listen. She's like, I did the ballistics on the gun, right? And it is the gun that shot Xander. But she's like, with all that the gunpowder should have left residue on Casey, and there's no residue on Casey. So he's like, oh, okay, whatever. So they leave the one guy, Cameron, in charge of Gnorm. Okay. And he's all like, all right, yay, I got to be in charge of this.
This guy doesn't look like he should be left in charge of anything ever.
Right on. I'm not going to lie. I was on Kaminsky's side like the whole time. I was like, Casey seems like an asshole. But so while he's doing, so Norm, right, he does his little sleepy time trick or whatnot. And this is where she tells him about that. And he collects all, and Kaminsky falls asleep, right? And Gnorm gets all his stuff back. And he does it really quickly too. And he tries to escape or whatnot, and he leaves Kaminsky naked. So of course, when the detective comes in, he's like, "Yes, sir," and shows him his whole, goodies and everything. And then all the other detectives come in, and they just think it's hilarious and everything. And they're laughing at him. He's like, "Get the dogs,
your dick's out."
yeah,
nice, in the chief's office.
Nice bunny cakes and everything. And they're like, he's like, get the dogs. And like, get the dogs. And I'm like, what? This isn't like the 1800s. You're like, yo, Tommy, go get the hounds. We're going to track down this gnome. So then they run off, right? And Gnorm, they go. So Casey, she helps Casey get out, right? And Gnorm, he is just tunneling through the police station, right? Because he's got to try to find Casey, right? And I'm all like, what? The chief runs into this guy who witnessed the whole thing, and he's like, but, and he's like, but, he's like, I need an APB on that gnome or whatnot.
How do you even do that? How do you even send out an APB on that thing?
So Norm,
there's not enough freaking out about this thing.
So Norm, he pops up in the jail cell, right, and everything, and he's all like, and so he's like, distract him and everything, so I can get the fuck out of here. So Kaminsky, he tries to come in here, but she's like, hey Kaminsky, why don't you and I go and have a little fun or whatever? She's like, meet me in the evidence locker in like 5 minutes. And I love how Kaminsky, he's like eating a candy bar or whatever, and he like takes a bite of it. He's like, and I'm like, what are you doing here, dude? Like, what's going on here? Like, so weird.
He's already creaming himself. He's that excited.
He's trying to pump his blood up.
Right, yeah, he is
trying to get that blood flow.
Yeah, he is. So the chief, he's got a one-way ticket to Mexico. Okay, and so these two, she's like, I'll meet you in the evidence locker in a minute. So they escape or whatnot. And he's like, hey man, we got to go back to the park where all this took place. And Sam helps him and everything. So they get back to the park, and Casey's he's trying to reenact what happened that night. Sorry, I'm trying to get to it. And he's like, all right. He's like, I was just walking through singing. And he realizes that the merry-go-round that he was on is sticking, because the chief had to. And the reason the chief is doing all this is because he's like, I worked 40 years on the job, and I'm getting nothing when I retire. And
it's
I'm all
the
like,
reason every police officer in movies give the whole big speech of how they're not appreciated and everything.
Yeah. So underneath the merry-go-round is where he
which is the total opposite of police officers back then. They got a shitload of.
Yeah, they get a pension. So he stashed the money and the diamonds underneath the merry-go-round, right? And so he gets it out, but when he gets out, that's when the chief shows up, and he's like,
Of
"Hey,
course.
Kaminsky, Casey." He's like, "Thanks for getting it out for me. Now I don't have to get it myself and everything." He's like, "I'm gonna kill you with your own gun," and I'm like, "Oh, great!" But of course, Gnorm shows up, and Casey runs off and everything. So they run off to this cage area, which I was like, "Is this a zoo? Or did they just go to an abandoned zoo? Where did this whole
Otherwise,
cage?"
this is the best playground ever.
Well, I'm all like, what's going on here? There's like a cage area where there's obviously hay and shit and everything and overgrown stuff, and I'm like, what's happening here? But I'm like, you know what? Let's just go with it because it's fun. And this is where he tells him, he's like, I worked 40 years on the job and I didn't get nothing or whatever. This is my comeuppance or whatever. And so then he's like, well, I just recorded you on this little mic. He's like, you're dunzo, chief. And then Norm shows up and they have a little scuffle and everything. And Gnorm gets shot. And they're like, oh, little guy, what are you going to do? But if you remember back to the needle, his skin is so tough, and he's not even hurt because he's Superman now. And they knock out the chief or whatnot, and then the next day, and then the sun rises, and he fills up the lumen with sunshine, and takes it back to Gnorm, and he's like, I'm gonna go back to my Gnorma. And she'd be so happy with me and everything. And he's like, I love you, buddy. And he's like, and so he gives Sam a huge kiss, which I just want to say was very like Sam did not ask for that. You need to calm it fucking down, dude.
And again, she laughs about it rather than freaking out.
Yeah. Instead of freaking out, like, well, I wouldn't have kissed him. I'd have been like, no, thank you. I don't want whatever you might have.
Does he have all of his shots?
AIDS.
Like, what's happening?
And then he tunnels.
No, he doesn't have his shots. It won't go through his skin.
That's true.
That's true. Very true.
Got
so
AIDS.
These two, right? So these two, right? He's like, good job and everything. And Norm pops up and he's like, hey, what does he call him? He's like, hey, fuckface, make her toes curl and everything. And he's like, yeah, and everything. So he just grabs her and he kisses her and everything.
Now, mind you, he's kissing the lips that Gnorm's lips were just on.
Yeah, which I'm all like, you guys are both now infected with Gnome AIDS.
You both have AIDS. You got Gnome AIDS.
Gnome AIDS, yeah. So then he gives him a thumbs up. He's like, good job. And then that's where the movie ends. Okay. And I don't know how you feel about that ending, you guys.
It's no better than a rat boy running off into the field.
I mean, that's a
with
great
his half
point.
of a crystal.
Yeah, like
that's a great point.
Oh.
So, okay. So that's where the movie ends. Now, I wanted to, before I get to everything, I wanted to ask you guys about the makeup for Gnorm and how you guys felt about it. Like how you guys felt. Marlon, how did you feel about the prosthetics for this movie?
I mean, they were fine. It was after watching Rat Boy and reviewing that one, leaps and bounds, my friends, leaps and bounds.
Vetta, what about you? What did you think?
Nothing seemed to be falling off in the middle of a scene.
There were no bubbles.
I thought the little, because he's a puppet, I thought he was pretty good. I liked it. It was way better than Rat Boy. I agree.
Way better than I thought it was great. I loved Norm. I loved his whole look. I was all about it and everything. I loved everything about it. So I thought it was great. Okay. Was there anything that we didn't talk about from this movie that you guys wanted to talk about?
No, I think we covered everything.
Right on. Okay, well, then I'll get to my final question of the night, and that is, overall, in like a sentence or two, what did you think about this movie, and would you recommend this movie? Marlon, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I love this movie. Listen, if anything, it just brought back a lot of good memories as a kid, like getting excited about stupid movies like this. So it was a good time. Would I recommend it? I just tell people, like, look, if you're really wanting to be impressed by a movie, don't watch this. But if you just want to have a good laugh and like question every person on there's judgment on why they're not freaking out over this gnome thing, then it's a good watch. Like, so yeah, I'd recommend it to people. Like, hey, you want a good bad movie from like what year did this come out? Like 1989 or something like that.
96.
Oh, okay, so it's like if you want to watch a good bad movie from the 90s.
No, 1990. Sorry, 1990. I apologize.
Yeah. Pick this thing up.
Right on. Vetta, what about you?
I would recommend this to anyone who has kids. Kids are gonna love this. And we all know people like us. Yours wouldn't like this. Okay. Well, I don't
No,
mean yours
when you're done, I'll tell you, my kids watch the dumbest shit. It pisses me off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this is more for adults our age that love like that late 80s, early 90s, just absolute ridiculous movies that make no sense, but they're so fun to watch because they're so ridiculous. Like the fact that no one in this movie is freaking out because this weird looking that he is the weirdest gnome. He is not a traditional gnome, and it's just amazing. I would definitely recommend this movie. Some people are gonna hate it, but it's great.
Can you imagine instead of yard gnomes like we think of them, it's those gnomes like out in your yard?
That's what I mean. I'm like, we all think of garden gnomes, though he is not a garden gnome.
If I could get a couple of those, I would totally put those in my yard.
Right? Apparently, tunnel gnomes are a completely different breed than garden gnomes.
Yeah.
Right on. I would have to say, first off, I'm with you, Marlon. I love this movie so much. This movie, not only does it bring back memories, but I think this movie is such a good time. Like when I was watching it, I was like having such a good time with it. Like I was laughing, I was crying. I wasn't crying, I was joking. But I just thought it was a great time the whole way around. And I just love Gnorm. He was just such a great character. So I would totally recommend this movie because it's even if you could just look at it like, you know, with rose-colored glasses, it's still such a fun time when you're watching a movie.
And he's way more lovable than Rat Boy. Rat Boy is like babysitting your best friend's whiny fucking kid. You just can't wait for it to be done.
Right on. Okay, well with
but Rat Boy was kidnapped.
That is true.
Gnorm had the choice to come to Upworld, okay?
That is 100% true. Everything. How else was Rat Boy supposed to respond? Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, well, with that, we're going to wrap things up. You guys, thank you so much for listening to us. Make sure to follow us on Twitter to stay updated at BS Drunk Pod. Now, if you listen to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review, you guys. It helps us out tremendously, and we really appreciate it. We'll also be posting the video version of this to our YouTube channel, as I said before in the beginning of the podcast. So be sure to check us out there, subscribe to us and everything. That's at BS Drunk Movie Reviews. Also, you guys, we do have a Patreon with plenty of different levels to suit your needs and interests and everything. Go check it out. The link for that will be in the description down below. But most importantly, you guys, please don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, you guys.
Bye.